And we're live.
All right, we're live. All right, so let me go in, make sure we're seeing. Okay. Let me do my tags. What about my guests for this broadcast here? Are they on?
There's a couple people in here, not too many.
All right, we're going to get it warmed up. Let me just fix the Facebook.
Oh, it's just one other person besides us.
That's all right. They got to get the number and re-sign in and all of that.
Okay.
So let me just warm it up and tag it up, and you should be fine. I can take over from here right now. Yes, sir. I'll direct the act. Does it automatically go to the screen of the person who's speaking?
That's how it's set right now. Mm-hmm.
That's the best thing to do. Okay. All right. So thank you, brother. Let me just get going.
Okay.
All right. Who I got on? Just keep letting them in though, man, to make sure they get in though. So I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I'll let everybody in. Don't worry about that.
Okay. All right, y'all, tune on in and spread the word. It's a very special night. I want y'all to tune on in. I'm tagging everybody right now. I'm tagging everybody because we want to support Brother Hannibal tonight. We got a very special event tonight, and y'all tune in. I'm tagging everybody and getting everybody linked in to tonight. Black power to everybody who's coming in the line, and greetings to everybody who's coming in the line. And I'm tagging my page up right now and getting everybody involved. I'm gonna tag all the leadership in the Black Nation. I'm gonna tag all the leaders because I want them to help me tune in on this. Tagging everybody I know. Okay, y'all see it on my page, Dr. Malik Zulu Shabazz. Can you please tag my page, or can you all please spread the word? We're getting ready to get started in about 5 minutes. Can y'all just see it on my page, Dr. Malik Zulu Shabazz? I'm tagging Sister Amina. Trying to tag everybody right now, tag myself. Getting it all set up. Y'all tune on in tonight. We got a very special program. Tune on in, everybody. Tagging my page and asking everybody to tune on in, please. Tune on in. Tune on in, y'all. Please tune on in. Tune on in. Tune on in. All right. I'm getting down here. Tune on in. We need Dashawn Farad on here too. Let me put my brother, let me pin my brother at the top of the page. Pin Brother Hannibal. Got to give him top billing tonight. Okay. Mintu, stick with me for a minute till I get going, okay?
Yeah, I gotta stay here to let people in, so don't worry, I'm here.
All right, I think they tuning in now. All right, so who else I need to see the Zoom? Let me see who I got on here. I got Amina Oshun, People's Political Party. I have Mintu, you in the background there. I got, there's Khadijah, there's his mama. Are you coming on camera, Sister Khadijah? All right, let me look at the participants. Amina Oshun, we got Brother Nat Turner. Nat Turner, I guess my question would be, are you coming on camera? Who's coming on camera? And is Justin Bonus coming on? That's my question here. I want to know, is Khadijah, I know, or Nat Turner coming on? I hope so. Either way, we're getting ready to go. Getting ready to get going right now on this broadcast. I'm hoping y'all come on the camera. Turner coming on. I hope so. Either way. All right, I'm hoping y'all come on. Let me check my participants. We're gonna get started in 20 seconds. Okay, nobody's on camera. Nat Turner's on. All right, Black Power. That's very good. Let me see, brother Nat Turner. I've heard a lot about him. Nat Turner.
Black Power.
Finally see you, my brother. My honor.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, I know you got plenty to say, so let's get right on into it. Dear sisters and brothers who are listening in the audience here, I want y'all to all tune in now. Tune in, because this is a very special broadcast here tonight. Brother Mintu, can you take the, I think you can do this for me, Mintu. Just give me a picture of Brother Hannibal. I want you to be able to just run that picture tonight. That picture of Brother Hannibal we got. Whenever anybody's speaking or however you want to do it, I want Brother Hannibal picture. I think he's got a picture. He's got a picture by himself. He's got a picture with Khalid Muhammad. He's got a picture with me. Just help me out. Put that somewhere where it stays up here, Brother Mintu, so they can see what we're talking about. Can you help me with that, brother?
It's not gonna stay up. It's either the picture or you guys.
Well, how about when you use an exhibit and you use a picture? How do you work that?
That you can't do on Zoom. that's a different program. We don't.
So you
have
mean
that.
you just? How do you work? So tell me how you work the picture in.
I share my screen.
Okay, well, just work that for me. Work that for me sometime so they can know who we're dealing with. Okay, that's what I want you to do so people can get the idea of who we're dealing with. Dear sisters and brothers, Black Power. Black Power, Black Power in the Facebook listening audience, on the Facebook plantation. We got rebel slaves on here tonight. We got one named Nat Turner. We got another named Malik Shabazz, and we have on the line Sister Omina Oshun. We have Brother Hannibal's mother, Khadijah Shakur. I'm praying Brother Hannibal gonna come on by telephone at some point. I'm hoping to have Hannibal's attorney here on the line so his attorney can give us updates. Either way, I think I have a legal grasp of these concepts and we're gonna go forward. This is a special night for us tonight. I want everybody who's listening and watching from the new Black Panther Party under my leadership and under any leadership, I want y'all to please, I want y'all to now spread the word, spread this broadcast and tune in, and I want y'all to learn something. That's the first thing we're gonna do is learn. And the second thing we're gonna do is help tonight. Okay, so giving honor to God, giving honor to the ancestors, and giving honor to Brother Khalid Muhammad, of whom I and we would not be here tonight if it was not for the struggle and the sacrifice of Brother Khalid Muhammad. I also want to say Brother Huey P. Newton and all other great revolutionaries that have stood up for our people. Assalamu alaikum and Black Power. This is a fundraiser, an educational event, and a support night for one of the great pioneers of the Black nationalist movement in the modern era. His name is Hannibal Rushideen. This is a fundraiser tonight for one of our brothers, my little brother, my mentee, a mentee of Khalid Muhammad, a young man who is behind this current new Black Panther Party. He's an early pioneer of this new Black Panther Party. His name is Brother Hannibal Rushideen. We're gonna learn about him tonight. We're gonna learn why he's behind bars. We're gonna learn why he shouldn't be behind bars. We're going to learn why he should be freed from behind bars. We're going to learn how we can help him. We're going to talk tonight, sisters and brothers who are listening, about such important concepts as mass incarceration of Black people, warehousing them in the prisons of America. We're going to learn about such important concepts tonight as a wrongful conviction. We're going to learn about the injustices that are inside of the criminal justice system of America, and why our brother Hannibal is a victim of such circumstances, and why we are here to give an all-out effort to free him tonight. There he is right now. I want y'all to look at him. Take a good, strong look at him. He's a Black Panther. He's a new Black Panther. He's a Muslim. He's a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he loves Louis Farrakhan. And he has been down for our struggle for a long time. Brother Hannibal Rushideen. From a young man, I've known this young man. And from a very young man, he has struggled with me, and he was with me and I with him in his early growth and development as a Black Panther and as a young man. His mother, who will be on here tonight to speak up and to speak about his matters, his mother, Khadija Shakur, she has been in the new Black Panther Party, in the Black Power movement for quite some time in New York City. And his mother has gone through a lot and struggled through a lot. And this case has put a lot of pressure and heartache on his mom. There's his mom right now. Thank you. Well, no, that's not his mom, but that's Hannibal. That's Brother Hannibal there. That's at another one of our key Black events in New York. Brother Hannibal is well known, for those who know him. He's well known by me. Brother Hannibal is well known by Khalid Muhammad. Brother Hannibal is well known by Brother Charles Barron, state assemblyman and city councilman in New York. Brother Hannibal is known by Yusuf Salam of the Central Park Five. Brother Hannibal is known by Louis Farrakhan. Brother Hannibal is a serious soldier from what I've known him, and has been key to the development of the new Black Panther Party in the early 2000s, 2001, 2002, 2003,
Please,
4,
Brother
5,
Rudy,
6,
were you able to get in?
7, and 8. Okay.
I know.
And
I
so,
think that they changed the.
can y'all mute y'all phones, please? I'm sorry about that. Thank you so much. And we're going to bring you in a moment, Mom. Brother Hannibal Rushideen, who's known by this government name, an incarcerated name of Justin Sarkozy. We are here to honor our brother tonight. We are here to support him. We're here to shed light on his case. His mom is going to specifically go into his case, and I'm hoping his attorneys are going to be on. Let me go into the participants. We got Christina Charles here, family members on, Queen Empress here, Amina Oshun, okay. All right, well, we'll get into it. First thing I want to do is welcome my friends, my allies in the Black Panther movement, the Panthers also. I'm talking about the People's Political Party. We're here with the People's Political Party. And some of y'all might say, well, who is the People's Political Party? My straight up answer to those that are watching is they are revolutionaries, and they are Black Panthers too. They're part of the Black Panther family tree. And the People's Political Party I respect. I'm going to bring to you in a moment their chairman and leader, Brother Nat Turner. And also joining us, and who has helped me put this together, and who's always a serious soldier and organizing for our people, Sister Queen Amina Oshun. I want to honor Sister Amina tonight. Okay, so without further delay, I've said enough. My name is Malik Zulu Shabazz. This is the Black Panther Liberation School. This is an educational night and a fundraiser for Hannibal Rushideen. As we guide and moderate this evening tonight, I want y'all to break out your wallets. I want you to break out the Cash App. I want you to break out the Zelle. because I'm going to be asking y'all to give some money for his legal defense. I am here tonight to put up some funds for his legal defense, and I refuse to be left alone. So I'll be coming back after every speaker and I'll be collecting some money, but I want y'all to get ready right now. I want y'all to show me, Brother Ahmad Muhammad and others, I want to show me that we really back our prisoners of war and prisoners behind bars with more than just words, but with our deeds. And I want y'all to get some hundreds ready. I want y'all to get some thousands ready. But first, I want you to get educated on why. So without further delay, introducing my friends and comrades from the People's Political Party and their leader and chairman. And I want to bring on first, Brother Chairman Nat Turner. And Black power to you, brother. And I'm going to turn the floor over to you, or I can ask you questions. What would be your preference?
Black power. It's cool, whatever, you know. Just trying to make a contribution, you know, to the struggle. We believe in politically educating our people, you know, raising the conscious level of our people, which will raise their response to, you know, the many violations, you know, the human rights violations that we suffer from in this country on a daily basis. And Hannibal's case is just, you know, it's unique in itself because there's certain ramifications to it. And we don't believe he's being like what we would like to use in politically correct terms as a prisoner of war. You know, the political relationship that we have with the state. And so that's pretty much, you know, like in a nutshell. But we like to give his mother a chance first, you know, to go into, you know, how he ended up in the situation that he is in today. And so we want the people before the night is over, you know, to walk away with something, to leave from here, understanding something, and walk away with it, and to be able to move on it. We're in a very crucial stage, point in this country. The wheels have come off, and so, but we've learned to say, you know, leave no man or woman behind enemy lines. And they're all political prisoners in the sense, you know. But
let me ask you a question, Baba. A couple of quick questions on your comments. I think you'd be very enlightening to our audience. Could you please define for the brothers and sisters who are listening, first of all, what is a political prisoner? How do you define the term political prisoner?
Okay, yeah, cool. A political prisoner is one who's being held captive because of his political views that he learned to understand after taking a deep critical look at the conditions of his people. And so he, you know, naturally develops opposing views, diametrically opposing views toward what we understand as the state. The state is no more, no less than the politician, the businessman, the judge, and the police, which all serve as a combined force to be the, you know, the owners, controllers of what we like to refer to as the state, what the layperson, you know, referred to as government. But a political prisoner that develops the understanding that he has a relationship with the state as a descendant of people of African descent, and the historical legacy of our struggle. And so when his conscious level begins to elevate, the more and more he begins to understand. And so his actions become, you know, diametrically opposed to the state. And so that's what turns him into a political prisoner. It's not as so much as he stole a pack of now-laters or something. You could end up as a political prisoner, such as George Jackson, you know, who went in on a $61 gas station robbery, and that he developed a political understanding about the conditions of his people, not just the, you know, the usual thing, but the ramifications of it, politically, economically, socially, dealing with racism, police terror, economic oppression, economic depression, segregation without economic infrastructure, which leads to vice, vice turns into crime, crime turns into internalized behavior. And so this is what the political prisoner understands, and he naturally assumes a position amongst his people. And so therefore, that's what takes place.
Okay, that's very enlightening. So let me ask you this: are you saying that in this case, that a brother or sister who becomes incarcerated and becomes conscious or politicized while incarcerated, such as George Jackson, that person is a political prisoner? Is that what you're saying?
He becomes one because of his enlightenment, because he like George Jackson said. And for those who don't know who George Jackson is, just quickly, this is a brother in the 60s, and he said when he had got behind the wall, he met certain persons around the world who led their people struggle, and that's how he began to understand things instinctually. We all possess this sort of innate ability to understand our conditions, but it's just when you raise your conscious level, you know what I'm saying? And when you behind the wall and you learn, you quickly become a target. You start to stand out from the average prisoner, which is why they put you in isolation 23 hours a day in a small cell. And so that's how behind the wall you become a political prisoner, because the ability that you have, the effect that you can have on other prisoners, dealing with, race and class, the struggle of poor people, the disadvantage, what the Russians refer to as the lumpen proletariat.
Okay, all right, that's very enlightening. So let me ask you this. Since you dealt with political circumstances of our condition in America, is it your position that all Blacks who are incarcerated are victims of some kind of political circumstances? What is your view on just all Blacks incarcerated from a political perspective? What is your position on every Black man and woman behind bars?
Yeah, our relationship with the state is a political relationship, on a daily basis, whether we seeking employment or what have you, trying to make something of ourselves, being the descendants of people who were brought here by the force of violence and who were used as a labor capital force to build the economic infrastructure of America, or the capitalist system here in this part of the world. And so, each and every individual person of African descent has a political relationship with the state. There are those who may not deny it, and that's fine, it's cool, but it's when you lack an understanding of what we believe a correct political education, it's hard to realize that. But it's just based on a relationship that has been irreconcilable since day one. And so that's what our relationship results as, because it's a political thing. And some people, see, when you say political, you think about the average politician, someone you go and vote for, he becomes a politician, a senator, something like that. But it's a whole other line of things. Democrats, Republicans, they're cosmetics. You know what I'm saying? But it's higher forces who control the wealth and the power, what some like to refer to as the means of production or whatever. But in the prison system, two types of political prisoners: the unconscious political prisoner and the conscious political prisoner, or prisoner of conscience. What I'm saying, who understands, what being a prisoner of war is. You make war on people in more than just one way, than just the usual understanding of war, which you're watching on television, like the thing going on in Ukraine with Russia, where they see tanks and missiles and bombs and all this type of stuff. But there's various forms of war, that's been carried out against Black people in particularly. What I'm saying? So what makes our relationship with state a political relationship. And so each and every one of us, whether we're outside the wall or inside the wall, we have a relationship that's irreconcilable. And so it leaves us with no other alternative but the struggle for our liberation. And, like Malcolm said, nothing you know, comes, you know, for free or at ease. You know, sacrifices have to be made, you know.
All right, you all are getting a political education tonight. You all, is my screen frozen? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
We
you.
can hear and see.
Yeah, you
Okay,
good.
look like my screen. Okay, y'all are getting a political education tonight from Brother Nat Turner of the People's Political Party. And you're gonna, and you all, many of you all who are watching have relatives behind bars and persons that you're concerned about behind bars. And you're getting a political education tonight from Brother Nat Turner. Final question before I bring on Mom and we go to specific questions about Brother Hannibal. Brother Nat Turner, you've explained the concept of leave no comrade behind. What does that mean, brother?
Leaving no comrade behind basically means that, first of all, how do you become a comrade? How do you develop into a comrade? You know, you can meet a stranger on the streets and, you know, have similar, let's say, types of understanding or live in similar conditions that you're living in. And they develop a basic relationship from the ground up. And over time, they develop an understanding and relationship that they already have. Just like when, you know, you in war, you know, some of us have been to, you know, these theaters of war, like Kuwait or whatever, and you land in the dirt, in the sand, in the desert, and 200-300 meters across from you is opposed an army and someone, you know, who's been trained to, you know, eliminate you. And so the person to your right or to your left had the same issue of weapon, the same uniform and everything. And so, you know, you feel some kind of camaraderie there. And so that's your comrade, but it took you know, experiences to go through, you know, develop this relationship. It doesn't happen overnight. But, you know, when you say leave no comrade behind, it's because, you know, some of your comrades are on the front line. And there's no one particular angle. There's different roles, you know, that we all play in the struggle. And so, you know, the brothers that are behind the wall, you know, some of the most gangster brothers in our history, you know, and they gangster, political gangsters, conscious gangsters. And, you know, they're the highest type of black men that this country will ever produce, contrary, you know, to Colin Powell and Clarence Thomas, you know, success and all that. But that's what we mean by leave no comrade behind enemy lines, because they made the sacrifices. They put their lives on the line, and you know, they you know, they don't apologize for their actions. You know, they don't say they made a mistake. It was a conscious decision, because the determination, dedication, and discipline for the love and undying love for the liberation of our people. And that's a natural thing that takes place around the world. It's political prisoners of other countries, which this country likes to harp on, but deny themselves that they have political prisoners. Black power.
Black power, black power. Those who are in the listening audience right now, you're getting political education one-on-one about the state of blacks and the prison system of the United Snakes of America. You're getting actual facts here tonight about the nature of our incarceration, the origin of our incarceration, the political, the judicial, and all of the ill reasons why we're in the condition that we're in. Okay, and that's from Brother Nat Turner. I hope he's going to stay here on the panel and join us. And now we're going to bring to the conversation Brother Hannibal, mother. Brother Hannibal, who's known as Brother Justin Sarkodie by this system. You've been seeing his pictures all night. Now we're going to bring you his mom, Khadijah Shakur, because Sister Khadijah is going to explain. She's going to explain, well, how did Brother Hannibal get in this condition? And is it fair that he got in this condition? And is he rightfully incarcerated or wrongfully incarcerated? And with that being stated, Sister Queen Khadijah Shakur, could you please, ma'am, come on and let us talk about your son?
Yes, sir. Black power, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay, very good. Okay, I'm going to thank everybody for coming on tonight in support of my son. And I want to apologize for the delays, but we're here and more people are coming in. My son was stopped without probable cause on March 19th, 2013, here in Brooklyn. There was a murder that took place in the neighborhood, and 911 calls were placed to the precinct. The detectives came to the neighborhood and questioned. They saw my son and another brother standing in front of a building. They had hailed a cab to get in the cab. They asked, when my son and the guy got in the cab and the detectives came to the building, the detectives' cab came into the block, nose to nose. The nose of the cab and the nose of the detective's car stopped the cab and told the cab driver to tell them to get out of the car. Brother Hannibal and the other guy got out the car. They asked for the ID. They looked at the ID, and then they arrested them. They handcuffed them and they put them in the car and took them to the precinct. There was no probable cause to stop Hannibal and this person of interest. This is how we would refer to him. But it is believed that the person of interest that was with Hannibal is known in the neighborhood, and that, you know, the police are always looking for him. They're always asking for him. And so they brought them both back to the precinct. They handcuffed my son and interrogated him. They let the other guy, the person of interest, they let him go. And since they let him go, my son has been incarcerated. They interrogated him 8 hours, more than 8 hours. 8 hours later, there was this gun mysteriously appeared under the seat of the cab driver's car. And so we have some question about that. You know, there's something about that that's not right. So this is where we're at right now. He was wrongfully stopped. He was wrongfully charged. He was wrongfully convicted. They coerced him to write a statement. And they're trying to hold on to the statement. There's no eyewitnesses. There's no DNA at the crime scene that matches my son. There's no DNA on the gun that matches my son. There is 3 DNA profiles on the gun, but those DNA profiles do not match Hannibal's. So we have employed some PIs. We have employed a private investigative team, man and woman team. They have come in the neighborhood and they've interviewed people. There is a video that the police will not hand over. There's a video that the police will not hand over. There's my son's clothes that they will not hand over. There's his cell phone that will not hand over. They will not hand that over. His cell phone extractions will show that he was not at the place where they said he was. The video will show that this person of interest that was with my son was talking to the decedent, the person that was shot and killed, maybe a half hour to an hour before that murder took place. So that person of interest, from what I've been told from the private investigator team, is he's disappeared and he is wanted. So this is pretty much where we're at with this. You know, my son was wrongfully convicted and he shouldn't be sitting in prison, straight up, for a crime he did not commit.
Okay. Mother Khadijah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
All right. So this is Brother Hannibal's mother, and I know you've been through a lot. Let me ask you a few questions. So essentially, you're telling the audience that the police and the criminal justice system have gotten the wrong man. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, absolutely.
And they've convicted the wrong man.
Yes.
Now let me stop right there. Unfortunately, that's not unusual in America, is it?
No,
For
it's
them
not.
to have
Right.
for them to have the wrong man.
That's true.
And from my knowledge, I can testify that as a lawyer, and from my experiences and from your knowledge also, that when it comes to our people and them being either wrongfully convicted and the criminal justice system coming to a rush to judgment, that this is not uncommon. Am I correct?
That's correct. That's correct. But this is my point here, and this is my gut feeling on this. If they feel that Hannibal is guilty, hand over the stuff so we can see it. Let us see the video. Hand over the cell phone so we can see the cell phone interaction, so we can see if he was at the place at the time of the murder that they say he was. Produce the video, okay? That will show that he can't be at two places at one time. We have foiled NYPD for their DD5s, memo pads, vouchers, which would show where my son's clothes are, because my son's clothes would show that there's no gunpowder residue on his clothes. Why won't they produce them? They won't produce them because they know that Hannibal is innocent. If he's guilty, hand it over. Show the video. Let us see where he was. You know what I'm saying? Let us see
Are you
the
saying?
clothes. That's the clothes.
Are you saying that that the prosecution or the state did not hand over exculpatory evidence or evidence that could have led to his acquittal, that they withheld such evidence?
Of course. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that. And I also feel, and I have to place some blame on the trial lawyer, because the trial lawyer should have demanded and requested the vouchers, the voucher slips that the police hand out, when they itemize everything that they take. The inmate's clothes, the inmate's boots, cell phone, you know, why don't we have that? We don't have that. We don't have his clothes. We don't have his clothes that would show us no gunpowder residue. We don't have the cell phone. We foiled NYPD from to hand over all the stuff, and they have not handed it over. Why won't they hand it over?
Are they in possession of these items?
Well, NYPD and the district attorney, they work close together. I know that they work close together. So certainly the NYPD has, I'm sure that they have some DD5s. I'm sure they have some memo pads that they have, if they haven't turned it over to the DA and the DA is holding it. But the fact of the matter is that we don't have them. We don't have that in our discovery, in our package.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a few more facts about the case,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna then we'll come back and talk about the legal history in the case and the legal future, where we going legally in the future. But let me ask you a couple of more things. Okay, so many of us know that in this case, Brother Hannibal, Brother Justin, is purported to have made a confession. Many know about it. A confession through a written statement. Okay.
Right.
And you know, just a written statement. Okay. And before I ask you a question about that, I want to say that I wish Yusef Salam was on the line tonight, because when it comes to the validity of confessions and the New York police, there's a nasty history of forced confessions by the New York police that they've gotten out of persons they've convicted, and the confessions that they obtained were thrown out of court or at different times. Let me ask you this: what is your position on Hannibal's written statement and confession? What would you say to us of those that would take the snap judgment and say that that confession would mean he's guilty? Oh, Yusef Salam's on the line. He's on the line. Okay. Let me ask you about this written statement, and then I want Yusef Salam to come in and tell us about the New York police and their methods of obtaining confessions and so forth. But let me ask you about this statement that Brother Hannibal made. What do you say, Mom?
I don't see any I don't see any admission of guilt in the written statement. I don't see,
Okay.
that's my personal opinion. I don't see any admission of guilt. I don't see any admission of doing anything, of murdering anybody. I don't see that in the written statement. And I think that basically the written statement, in my assessment, just pretty much shows if he's guilty of anything, he's guilty of association with the guy that he was with, which I will call a person of interest. I mean, that's what's in the written statement. I will say that. But there is no, from what I've read, there is no admission of guilt in that statement. And from what I was
Okay.
told, that statement was coerced. You know, your mother's right
All right.
outside. Your mother's right outside. Give her hope. You know, write this up and you can go.
And so basically you bearing witness that the pressures and the almost the cheating by detectives and others can obtain what they want in under the right circumstances.
Oh, absolutely. They're trained to do
Okay.
that. They're trained.
Okay.
They pick up psychology. They know how to wear a person down. You know what I'm saying? This is what they do. They know how to,
Okay.
they take psychology in the academy. They know how to wear a person down. They know how to make you confess to stuff that you didn't do. You know, I mean, and
So
you know,
hold,
okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I want you to hold in the conversation. Hold right where you are. And I have Brother Charles Barron and I have Yusef Salam on the line. And I want to bring them in, Brother Mintu. Let me see some, I think we want to bring on Yusef Salam first and Charles Barron tonight. I want Yusef Salam first and Brother Charles Barron, and we come back to you, Mom.
Yes, sir.
Those who are watching in the listening audience, I want you to know that the man that we're talking about tonight, Brother Hannibal Rushideen, that he's got to be a special person because on the line tonight, he has some of the top Black figures in America that are supporting him. He has a leading member of the Central Park Five. Of those who may not know the infamous case in the early 90s of the Central Park jogger and a white woman who falsely accused Mr. Salam and other brothers of raping her. And the New York Police Department, through similar techniques and tactics, obtained confessions from these young men. And these confessions were later voided and their convictions were later voided. And they were later compensated by New York for wrongfully convicting the Central Park Five and others. And Brother Yusef Salam now speaks all over America, all over the world as an advocate for others. And he knows Brother Hannibal and supports Brother Hannibal. So I want to come to him first. And then we have one of the strongest elected officials anywhere in Black America here, maybe the world. I'm talking about Brother Charles Barron, former state assemblyman in New York and city councilman. These are powerful brothers, and I'm going to bring them on. And as I bring them on, I'm still going to tell y'all that this is a fundraiser. And I want y'all to, as you hear what we're talking about, I want you to get motivated, okay? And to help motivate you right now, I am, and I want Sister Kalado or Mintu to put this in the Facebook chat room, that I right now, Malik Zulu Shabazz, I'm putting up $300, that I'm going to place $300 on the table in the chat room, and I'm asking y'all to match me. I'm asking other organizations to match me or pass me. And I want some group or organization to put up 300 or 500 or 1,000. And I want y'all to get your money ready. I'm gonna put up 300. If y'all put up some money, then I'm gonna put up some more money. Okay? And so, because we got to fight this case. So I put up $300. Can somebody put that in the chat room right now? But I'm requiring someone to match me. As I state that, I want you to bring on Yusef Salam. Let's bring him to the screen. He's my brother. He's also a brother that Khalid Muhammad respected, and I deeply respect his passion and commitment towards criminal justice, change, and reform in this nation. Can you help me, Brother Mintu, to bring forward to us Brother Yusef Salam now, so we can hear him and talk to him about the case of Brother Hannibal Rushideen? Can you do that, Mintu?
Peace and blessings, family. I am honored to be here because as I was sitting listening, I remember the first time I was walking around Clinton Correctional Facility in Clinton, Dannemora. And I had been in prison for 5 years at that particular point in time, and I was starting my adult time because prior to then I was under the age of 21, and I had been in a maximum security facility for youth. And it was hard time, so hard that that facility that I was in particularly, it was so bad they actually closed that facility. It was called Harlem Valley.
Mm.
When I was walking around Clinton, the place itself shook me. It was a place that instilled fear, that made you instantly uncomfortable. And I remember when two brothers came up to me, came up behind me. I didn't know who they were, but they asked me if I was named Yusuf Salam, and I said yes. And they asked me to come with them. And, you know, I kind of got it in my head that, man, I hope I didn't make it this far to die in the yard. And I walked with them to a corner outside of anything. There was a brother in the corner that was punching a bag. And I mean, he was beating his bag so mercilessly that I felt bad for the bag. And I'm not making that as a joke, but this brother was tearing this bag up. And this is a brother who we know in the community today, Abdul Haq. And I never forget when they said we found him. Abdul Haq turned around, he took his gloves off, and he extended his hands to me and gave me the greeting of Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And I said, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And we shook and embraced each other. And he told me, he said, you are a political prisoner. I never heard those words before. I never really understood the gravity of who I was in the context of Black America as it related to the post, it's not really even post, right? The epidemic of slavery that happened is continuing to happen by another name, right? Right now in America, it's still going on. They've taken a clause that they find in the 13th Amendment that says that slavery is abolished except for the punishment of a crime throughout all of America and its territories. But that's not even the most important part. The most important part, and this is part of why I wanted to start with this, the most important part is Section 2. Section 2 says, Congress shall have the power to enforce this article through appropriate legislation. Now I want you to think about that for a moment. The listening audience, for the most part, I want to say are probably some comrades out there. Many of you are probably comrades, and there are probably others that are out there who are coming in on the outside looking in. And on the outside looking in, there's a tendency to believe that this is a system that will protect and serve you. But when you look at what safety looks like in safe neighborhoods, it doesn't look like police moving all throughout your neighborhood causing unrest. As a matter of fact, in most safe neighborhoods, you rarely see a cop. You rarely hear the police sirens. You rarely hear ambulance. And you rarely hear fire department. In unsafe neighborhoods, it is inundated with that kind of noise. As a matter of fact, we understood that just by the mere fact of them calling many of the places that they have pushed us into, the projects, is really a part of the grand experiment of what else can we do to the Black and brown body to further disrupt and disorient them from their natural God-given ability to take their proper place in this world. And as soon as they can disrupt that, like me, I was 15 years old. Some of my comrades was as young as 14. Many of you know Corey Wise, he was as old as 16. But it was in between that small window of age that they snatched us out of the womb of our mothers,
Mm.
out of the womb of our community, out of the safety net of our homes. And then Donald Trump took out this full-page ad. I have a big copy of this. I keep it on the floor, but I keep this here in my office just to remind people if they happen to look in the background. Donald Trump, 2 weeks after we were accused, called for the state to kill us. You got to remember, as our great attorney Malik Zulu is telling you, this case was such a case that they had exposed our names, exposed our phone numbers, and exposed our addresses. We were 14, 15, and 16-year-old children, and they exposed our most sensitive information in the media. And the media was in cahoots with it at the time and allowed for this to be okay. And really, when Donald Trump took out that ad, what he was signaling was that he hoped someone from the darkest enclaves of society would do to us what they did to Emmett Till. And people came to our homes. People sent us hate mail. People did all of this because they looked at the color of our skin and not the content of our character. They judged us by that. They said they have to be guilty because in the black and brown experience, we're seen as guilty having to prove ourselves innocent. Whereas if you have the complexion for so-called protection, you're seen as innocent until proven guilty. Now this is what we're up against. We're in a real physical war that, unbeknownst to many, most of it is mental. Most of the physical war we are up against is a mental battle, and that mental battle is after our children, and if we somehow escape, they're after our children's children, and then our children's 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 children. They've already instituted a century-long plan, and probably even maybe more than that, when many of us have been taught, well, you know, you got to plan for the weekend. We need to be able to institute even deeper than that. We can't play this game of life on a game called checkers. We got to play it on a game called chess, and we have to play it at a very, very high level. Because the other thing that was asked of me was about the read technique. This read technique, many people, you would be, unless you were in the womb of America, the belly of the beast, unless they had their clutches on you, you would never understand what the experience is like to be confronted by wild beasts, almost thinking that you're going to lose your life, almost thinking that they're going to kill you there and your family will never know anything about you, that you wanted the American dream, but now you've woken up to the American nightmare. This is what we are experiencing. And so with this technique that was asked about, the read technique, it's illegal in most Western countries. Well, I shouldn't say Western countries, but most places outside of America, it's illegal to use the read technique. This technique is a technique which they institute, and they have these practices, which one, they get you to be worn down. They put you in a room where you don't know what time it is. You know, you can't, you don't get nothing to eat, nothing to drink. You begin to live in a twilight zone, a real live twilight zone. And all you want for it is to stop. And so for mother to talk about her son, who I went and visited in prison, and for him to say that they said to me, your mother's right outside, all you got to do is say X, Y, and Z, and listen, we'll let you go home. Let 1 hour go by. Let 2 hours go by. Let 3, 4, 5, in the Central Park jogger case, up to 24 to 36 hours had gone by before they wore all of us down and garnered written confessions out of 4 out of the 5 of us, videotape confessions out of the 4 out of the 5 of us. And that was enough. That was enough, because if they can get you to say you did something, it don't matter whether the forensics matches the statement. The people believe what they hear. This is one of the reasons why we need financial support. We need financial support because we are fighting a government that is using the money that we are paying to fund the war against us. We are being taxed, and they say no taxation without representation. But yet they are taking our tax money and they're using it against us. And their coffers are very, very deep. Because if you can imagine, even in the most impoverished communities, we still pay taxes. But we are very ill represented. We are still
Okay.
run over by the spike wheels of justice. Yes, indeed.
Brother, hold 1 second. You all are witnessing an historic conversation tonight. We are here for Brother Hannibal Rushideen. We're here for Brother Hannibal, but we have very powerful guests that are explaining to us the circumstances of his incarceration and why they support him. I have Brother Yusef Salam, one of the famous members of what they call the Central Park Five, those that were exonerated for allegedly Central Park jogger rape in the 90s and attacked by Donald Trump and almost taken out of here. And I'm so just happy to be on here with you tonight, and I'm honored you would take your time. I want you to hold right there, King, because I want to bring on Brother Charles Barron here on the line here. Can Brother Barron, can you come forth, brother Councilman? Can we bring Charles Barron in?
Could you hear me?
Brother Charles Barron, it's an honor to see you tonight also. Sisters and brothers in the audience, I mean, I couldn't tell you how almost emotional I am tonight. Here's another one of my staunch allies, a big brother of mine, and he's probably the strongest Black elected official in the United States of America. Former state assemblyman, councilman, he goes back and forth from the state assembly to the council, or he and his wife. He's a political master, and he's a committed person to Black self-determination, Black liberation. He acts it out in office. I mean, he carries the principles that he believes in into the lion's den of the city councils and state legislatures and all the famous battles of Blacks and just and races and race in New York. And so I want you to hear now on the case of Hannibal Rushideen, the Honorable Charles Barron. Brother Charles Barron, greetings to you and welcome, and just tell us why you here tonight, big brother.
Well, thank you very much for doing this, Brother Malik. And you and I go back a long ways. I remember they beat me up in the city council because I gave you a proclamation for the Million Youth March. But it was worth every whooping I got. So,
thank you, sir.
And for me going to the funeral of Dr. Khalid Muhammad, you know, who do they think they are? They tell you who you can honor, whose funeral you can go to, and who you should be aligned with or not. So we have gotten into this electoral arena, understanding its limitations. I don't think we can vote our way to liberation, but certainly we can use that arena to exercise some power. So I'm just pleased to say that I was able to get a letter from the New York State Assembly to help the liberation of Herman Bell, our political prisoner, for Seth Hayes, he made his transition shortly after, and for Jalil Montahim, who's now out. So we have to deal with power, and it's the same thing here with Hannibal. Hannibal's my brother. I don't care what they say. This brother was so committed to our liberation, our struggle. And no matter what the dynamics are of the case, and the lawyers will argue that, my point is that it's been, what, 9-10 years? Time served.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, time served. See, it's hard sometimes when you bring a case to our people. Well, dude, he shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have wrote the confession. What was he doing in the streets? What was he doing acting like that? Why didn't he stay in the struggle? All that stuff. I'm not into none of that. Time served.
Yes, sir.
The time is up. The governor needs to commute his sentence because he's more valuable to us out in the community dealing with these young people who are now off the hook. I think Hannibal would be an asset to us on the streets, not incarcerated at Sing Sing. I went to visit him in Sing Sing. I went to visit him when he's in the house of detention. We've had some phone calls. We keep missing each other because every time he calls in the meeting, I've been in constant contact with his mother. And I understand some elected officials are trying to get to the governor. And I'll support them in that because I'm not a fan of the governor and she's not my fan and I'm not her fan. So, but there are some electeds that are supposed to be dealing on that level. But I think we should say to the system that time served. You know, the dynamics, I spoke to the district attorney, Eric Gonzalez, and told him he needs to turn over that information. He spoke to their lawyer, but he never gave up the information, but he did speak to the lawyer. So the role I wanted to play is that any influence I could have to do the right thing for Hannibal and then to be there for him. So as long as he's in there, I want to continue to communicate when I can, get to visit him a little more, and my schedule's crazy. But I think that's the best thing we can do for him is to keep him in your prayers. But I'm going to match the 300, Malik, that you put up. I'm going to do 300 as well, and maybe a little more later. But we need to support this brother because time's up. You don't need to be in there. 10 years, that's enough. Now, some might say, but what about the brother who died? Well, it's not emphatically proven who did it. So since that's still in question, time served. And we should have our brother out in the streets trying to help these young people who have gone astray. So that's why and I'm working with Attorney Roger Wareham, gonna write a letter, send a letter to the superintendent. I have spoken to the superintendent. They know I'm supporting him. And I'm gonna continue to do that regardless of what people think. So I'm
Thank
here
you so
tonight
much.
for Mother Khadijah, and because my brother Malik Zulu Shabazz said it was important for us to be here, but mainly I'm here for Hannibal.
Thank you so much, Councilman right now, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Councilman, back again. All right, boy, you know how to work it. Did you just hear that Councilman, former State Assemblyman Charles Barron has been key behind the release of some of our major political prisoners, those of you who are listening. And it appears, Councilman, that you're making an argument against mass incarceration and warehousing of persons who are behind bars that could do some good. I assume you also get a number of requests and help for clemency petitions. I know this is not a clemency case, but I'm assuming that you get a number of requests to help with clemency also.
Yep, correct.
And some of those arguments probably center around that it's useless to keep the warehousing and the incarceration.
See, Attorney Malik, you know, when it comes for parole, it's time served. It's not the initial crime you committed. So oftentimes, when our brothers and sisters go up for parole, they hit them with 2 more, hit them with 2 more, hit them with 2 more. It almost turns into a life sentence. And they say things like, because of the act that they committed, they don't deserve to be out on the street. Now, you can never change that. You can't change the initial crime that you committed. And in this case, he's even innocent. So that can't change. So since that can't change, everything has to be judged on the time you serve. And most of our political prisoners got degrees. They help other incarcerated brothers or to do better during their time. They came out and did some wonderful things. So when you look at the time that one is serving, you know, Malcolm X served good time, read the whole dictionary and got converted to Islam, and look what he came out and done. So I think that is You know, when you look at the system as a whole, and you see people like Donald Trump running around here, he needs to be in prison.
Mm-hmm.
You have this madman running free. You have Wall Street crooks running free that create poverty and capitalism. They all get away with murder because poverty is murder.
Mm-hmm.
And unemployment and all that's murder. So they get away with all of that. And then you have us in the prison. And like as Yusef, or I think either Yusef or you said, Malik, that the 13th Amendment says slavery shall be abolished except as a punishment for crime. So we went from the plantation to the penitentiary because they need our labor. And that's what capitalism thrives off, labor, cheap, free labor. So we say abolish the whole prison system as it exists. You know, when people hear that abolish prisons, you know, some of our people think we're saying, oh, you don't want no prisons. So when people do something wrong, they'll be all over the place. No, we're saying abolish the prison system as it exists.
That's
and
right.
Let's create a different paradigm for dealing with keeping our community safe. When we say dismantle the police department as it exists, defund the police department as it exists, and we got Mayor Cop Adams, who is connected to Wall Street money. He's not ours. So we got a cop that's a mayor and just so happy to be running the plantation of New York City that he has lost his soul in terms of who he is. And so when he comes along and we say, you giving $11 billion to NYPD and $100 million to the violence interrupter teams like Man Up in them, when they actually bringing crime down in my beloved East New York and some other places, police get 11 billion and the people that are affected get a few million. Something's wrong with that. And that's why America needs a revolution, a radical change in its system, and not just reforming things. In the meantime, we got to fight for these things, but ultimately, we got to radically change this system.
All right, sisters and brothers, you're getting a great education tonight. Those who are listening, you are getting a powerful education about America's prison system, her incarceration system, her prosecutorial system, her police system, specifically in New York State and New York City. You all who are watching, you're getting a rare opportunity to talk to some of the most powerful advocates for justice for our people in the country, particularly in New York. You have City Councilman Charles Barron here, who's legendary for his strong principled stances on behalf of our people. You have Yusef Salaam, who's standing up, is legendary for standing up for brothers and sisters behind bars and for justice for our people in general. My name is Malik Zulu Shabazz. I'm in here, and we're all supporting Brother Hannibal. We have his mother here, Sister Khadijah, on the line. And let me bring one other person in here, and then we're going to take care of some business and then appreciate y'all time. I know you all are important, and I appreciate you taking this time. So let me make efficient use of this time. Right now, I want to say that we want to thank Brother Charles Barron. He matched my $300. So that would make it at least $600. I'm getting reports on my text where they're going to tell me how much is being pledged in the Facebook chat room. Who's going to give up money? Who's going to help Hannibal's legal defenses in the Facebook chat room? Also, we're getting reports from his mother of who has donated on Cash App, who has donated on Zelle, so we can get the count. And the Zelle is in the Facebook chat, and the Cash App is in the Facebook chat.
Excuse me, Brother Malik, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I do have another thing I have to attend, but I wanted to make sure I attended this tonight. And you can count on me for even more financial support. down the road. I'm just starting with 3, but I do have to get off now to get to another meeting.
We
but
thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you. Thank you, Baba. That's $300 from Brother Charles Barron. He matched my $300. Thank you for coming. I got a clemency, a client in New York. He's excellent. Has done so much while behind bars. And at some point, I want to speak to you on maybe your advice on helping him get clemency. He's a model prisoner. And I thank you for your time. And I want to be here for you also when you need help in certain legal matters, especially on a federal level. And give Roger Wareham the greetings. I love Roger Wareham.
Thank you, Brother Charles.
And thank you. Thank you so much.
All
All
right.
right. Hey, Mom.
Good to see
We're
you.
gonna come to I think you got family members on. I think you got family members on, but let's take care of some business. Do we
Okay.
have a count? That was 300 from me, 300 from Barron. That's 600. But
Right.
what else do we have so we can get a count?
We have 200 from the People's Political Party so far, which totals 800. With from Charles Barron, yourself, and the People Political Party, it's 800. We have so far. I have to check Zelle.
Okay.
I have
And if
to
you could check my
chat.
Facebook chat
Okay.
for others that are saying they're gonna pledge. And since you say you have 800, I'm gonna add this up. I'm gonna put 200 on that 800 so we can be at 1,000. Right?
1,000. Okay.
Okay, we had 1,000. Add $200 more from myself, and I'm gonna say from myself and the new Black Panther Party at this point. And I want the new Black Panther Party who's listening, and those that are on the line and who understand that you're wearing this uniform today because of the sacrifices and the labor of a young man yesterday. Some of you all come in during the chairmanship of Hashim and Zinga. You come in 2014, 2015, 2016. Brother Hannibal's been soldiering in this mission since the early 2000s. He laid the base for y'all that are watching tonight. So I want to know what my Panthers are going to come up with. I want to see Ahmad and the other officials here. Hopefully, Brother Najee knows Brother Hannibal. I want to see the new Black Panther Party come together and text me on my personal line and tell me you have some $300, $400, $500 that y'all have went together and gathered some money for this fundraiser that you've been knowing about. Okay, with that being stated and us being at $1,000, Brother Yusef Salam, staying here on the line, please. I'm coming back to you. Thank you for your time. Hold on.
Christina.
Christina, that's correct. Miss Christina Charles, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi,
Can you
Miss
hear me?
Charles. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
It's a-
hello. First, I just want to thank everyone for coming on, and all the speakers, and Charles Barron, who has left, for supporting my sister. You know, it has been I cannot even come up with the the proper word to say how excruciatingly painful and difficult this has been for my sister and the family, but especially my sister, because that is her son. And I just wanted to thank each and every one of you for helping and not forgetting Hannibal, because I think that has been one of his greatest pains, that he has believed that people have forgotten about him. But this is just a reassurance that people still love him and they still are caring about him. And we are hoping and praying that he will come home soon. One of the things that I just wanted to mention as I listened to the speakers, the thing that pains me the most, in addition to the suffering of his mother, because she is my only sister, and I know the pain that she goes through, and it is difficult to hear, to see, and to watch. But one of the things that pains me is I'm going to speak for myself, is my lack of my ignorance in terms of the legal counsel that we had before. When we went into, my sister, she paid the lawyer a fee to represent Justin. And as I look back, I think about us as being lambs, weak and soft lambs, and unaware of so much. And we went in there, we trusted him and we believed him. And as I look back and I learned so much since this, I feel that he was completely ineffective counsel. And I know that's water under the bridge. I don't know if there's anything we can do about that. But from a legal standpoint, if there is, I sure hope that someone will assist us with that, only in terms of not even thinking about punishing him, but using that information to help Justin. Because when I think back to the many times that we were in his office and he spoke to us, I thought to myself, we believed everything he said because we didn't know any better. And I think that that is part of the reason why Justin has taken the position that he has taken in terms of the whole ordeal. And there's nothing we can do about that. But if that mistake by ineffective counsel can help Justin, I wish that someone who has knowledge of that can help us, because I feel like that's the thing. The second thing that pains me the most is when you don't know something and you go in honest and innocent and trusting, and then you do not get the proper information. And having said that, I really just want to thank everyone for coming on and supporting my sister most of all, because she has really, really been through. And, you know, and on a lighter note, I'd like to say that my sister and I hung out the other night. We went to see a comedy show at the comedy show, and it was good. And it was good to see her laugh, and she was happy, and I was happy to see that. So I thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I know that make you feel good to see mom laugh and to be able to, you know, after so much that she's been through, that's important. And I know your
It was
family.
Chris Rock. It was Chris Rock and Kevin Hart. And they were hilarious. So that was very,
laugh.
yeah, that was very good for me.
And you should.
Yeah.
You've done a good job, Sister Khadijah. I want to just tell you that
I've done my best. I've tried.
That you have been a hell of an advocate. You know, that this is not, none of this is your fault. You have been a great mom, and you have just, I mean, God only knows what burden is put on us, okay? And I just want to commend you for your steadfastness in the struggle for your son, and in your steadfastness for the struggle for our people.
Yes,
all right, and I do want to do that. Stay right in here with us, please.
Yes.
Brother Yusef, come on, brother. You're rare that we have you on. I want to bring you back on. And I want to bring you back in with mom. These are all the great photos. Y'all see this? Y'all who are watching in the audience. And I want you to watch the origins of this new Black Panther Party you're a part of. Look at the new Black Panther Party officers and administrations before you. Look at Brother Zaid Muhammad. These are my teammates right here. That's Brother Divine Allah. I hope he's watching tonight. He's running for city council in Trenton, New Jersey. He's gonna come on here soon. Brother Divine Allah, he's a legend. He's on there on the right side. Brother Zaid Muhammad, my brother, who we go way back to the late 1990s and coming into this party when Khalid Muhammad passed. Brother Zaid Muhammad is there. Look like Dashan Farad is there. Look like in there I see Sharif Amenhotep, the legend out of Newark, New Jersey on there, and my other Jersey comrades. I'm sure that David X and all of the East Regionals are there. That looked like Samir down there. That actually looked like King Samir Shabazz down there. So I want those that are watching right now to respect your roots. And I want also those that are in the broader Black nationalist movement that are watching. You are who are in other formations and other Black groups that may have come out of the new Black Panther Party somehow, some way. Well, I still want you to honor Brother Hannibal, because Brother Hannibal was here when it was just the new Black Panther Party. There were no other hardly any Black nationalist groups. And we was fighting and defending Black nationalism from that little man right there. You see him right there? That man comes from Khalid Muhammad. Okay, so in that regard, right now, as we are fighting to overturn his wrongful conviction, fighting to find the evidence and to secure the evidence, that's him with Louis Farrakhan. Do you understand that? That was a trip that I took to see Minister Louis Farrakhan in 2008, and Brother Hannibal was with me. And we met with Minister Farrakhan. And this is a young man of greatness. This is a young man of greatness. Ain't no doubt about it. Now, I'm going to, in that regard, on behalf of Black Lawyers for Justice, they have texted me and they have weighed in. And on behalf of Black Lawyers for Justice, that is another $500 has come in now from Black Lawyers for Justice. That's $500 from Black Lawyers for Justice. All of this will be delivered by Zelle, ma'am, to you. $500 from Black Lawyers for Justice, because we know all too well that every Black man behind bars is not guilty. We know all too well that police lie, cheat, and steal. And we all know too well about the injustices of this system, from political prisoners to mass incarceration. That's $500. And that should bring us to $1,500 from the major donors. I'm looking here on Facebook, and I want y'all to show me some receipts on Facebook that y'all sending some money to the Cash App. Sending some money and putting the receipts here. Y'all come on in and don't just watch, but I want you to back us up, please. And Black power to those who are listening. At any rate, come on back, Brother Yusef. And Yusef, if
Yes,
he's
sir.
still there. Yeah, I want you to come on now. Brother Yusef, we are taught to we are taught to trust the police as a society, to trust the police, to trust detectives, to trust their investigations, to trust that that they will do the right thing, apprehend the right person. We're taught to trust the district attorneys would give all of the exculpatory evidence that would lead to a person's acquittal. We're taught to trust this system and this justice system. In the case of Brother Hannibal, could you maybe just further elaborate on, when it comes to what I've just named, why we can't trust this system in the case of Brother Hannibal Rushideen?
You know, we can't trust the system. First of all, the system is operating exactly as it was imagined and created in the minds of its creators. So if we start from that premise, then we won't be misguided. Meaning, those of us who really don't know, the system is not broken. The system is alive and sick. And this is the same system that in the Central Park jogger case, because they got it wrong. And you know, when you think about cases like this, and I'm using my case to really shine light on Brother Hannibal's case, because the Central Park jogger case is really only one of the worms in the can of worms of cases just like it. If the system realized that they got it wrong, and they knew they did, but they stayed the course and went full steam ahead, and it looked more sexy to them for it to be 5 black and brown young brothers who did this crime, even though there was no forensic evidence, even though we had no blood underneath our hands, even though she didn't have any blood underneath her nails from us, any of that stuff. This woman lost 3/4 of her blood. Nobody had a speck of blood on them. And some of the individuals in the Central Park jogger case were arrested that night. Myself and Corey Wise was arrested the next day. But when they asked us to get our clothing, which is something that's important when you think about what Mother Khadijah is talking about as it relates to Brother Hannibal, her son, they asked us to get our clothing. And when they asked me for my clothing was very unique. And I'll show you what it looked like. These were the same pair of pants that I was wearing on April 19th, 1989. Same pants. These pants, as you can see, have artwork all over them. This is my artwork. I'm a graphic designer. I do jewelry and stuff like that now and everything. You know? But this is what I was wearing on April 19th, 1989. They went over my clothes with a fine-tooth comb. And if you hear my mother say it, my mother described it in such a really powerful way. They were looking for anything and everything. They were taking little samples from anywhere on my clothing. I just got these pants back. Just recently got these pants back. This is 33 years later as it relates to the Central Park jogger case. But the most important thing that I want folks to understand, why we can't trust the system itself. Because the system got stuck with a mistake, and instead of the system saying we're sorry we made a mistake, the system made the public believe that this case was a one-off. This was an anomaly.
Mm.
We got it a little wrong this time, but we were just doing our jobs. No, sir. No, sir. No, ma'am. You were not just doing your jobs. You looked at the color of our skin, as I said before, and judge us by it and not the content of our character. And more importantly, you didn't even just look at the color of our skin. You looked at the depth of the color of our skin and looked into the future of what that could mean and thought that you would disrupt that pattern. But as they say, man plans and God is the best of planners.
Amen.
Because see, if we get the opportunity to get Brother Hannibal's clothing, if we get the opportunity to have our own independent investigators and forensic scientists go over his clothing, we will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt whether he did or did not do this crime.
That's right.
If we get the opportunity to test all of the information that they have, because see, what Mother Khadija is saying is important. They trying to hoodwink us. Well, he said he did. Listen, my late attorney, Bill Kunstler, one of my late great attorneys, Bill Kunstler, he said, relating to the Central Park jogger case, he said, Yusef, this case is such a case that they want you so bad. In this predominantly Christian country, Jesus Christ himself couldn't have won this case against you. That says a lot. That says a lot, and that also says how we have to fight them. We can't just fight with good intentions in our heart. We can't just fight with, this is how we. No, we have to fight with, even if all we have is $1, put that dollar in the pot. Even if all we have is 50 cents, even if we just have a quarter, and if we only have support, then that support is enough. But we need to make sure that that support is seen, because we need to fortify our Mother Khadija and our brother Hannibal as he is languishing in the womb of America. Because see, they don't want to return a whole person back to society. They want to return a broken person back to society.
Right.
And so that's something else that we have to understand. The mental capacity of the people who are in prison, and he is one of the most shining examples of how we need to insulate, protect. When Mother Khadija calls, answer the call. Brother Rashid is on the line. Brother Hannibal is on the line. Look, we need to be able to talk to him. We need to make sure that he knows he is not left out. That he is gone, but he is not forgotten. That he is forever in our hearts and in our prayers. And right now we have the opportunity to do something magnificent. We can fight them with what we have. And what we have will be enough. Because let me tell you, when you take one step, God shows up and God comes to you running. And that's all we need. We need to know that this is a time where they want you to be afraid. But remember that fear is false evidence appearing real. And once we stand up in the face of fear, even though we may be afraid, we will still do what's right. And this is how we have to move, because they're counting on us to say, well, I'm glad it's not me. Never forget, when I first came home from prison, I remember listening to WBAI, and there was a station, there was a program that used to play a part of a song. And in the part of the song, it was like the intro to the song. I forget the name of the song, but the song said something like, you today, me tomorrow. They're looking at us.
That's real.
They're looking at us. Not one of us is safe. This system will have you think that they have your best interests at heart. You best believe that when it turns its evil intentions towards you, there will be nothing you could do except for pray to God in the hopes that whatever device, whatever evil they have planned against you, just like it says in our books, when the people, when the evilness gathered against them, it caused them to become more stronger in their faith. And they said, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Allah is sufficient for us. If we got to lay our lives down right now, we will. But we know that God himself is the one who gives life and also is the one
Takes
who is
life.
the cause of death. Yes,
That's
indeed.
right.
We don't have to be afraid. We will not leave here until our time is up. That's a guarantee.
My sisters and brothers who are listening to this historic conversation tonight, I mean, you are privy to and you are in the company of some of the strongest fighters for justice in the United States of America. I'm talking about Mr. Yusef Salaam, one of the Central Park Five members who has been exonerated for the Central Park jogger rape, and who has not just been exonerated and went on about his life. He has committed his life to fighting for others and educating and standing up against odds. I mean, this is a legendary conversation. Brother Charles Barron, state assemblyman and legendary city councilman who has been on here. And he also made a pledge, and he's not on now, but he's on the line. Brother Nat Turner, he's the leader and the chairman of the People's Political Party. He's my Black Panther brother. He's a very principled freedom fighter. He's on the line. Okay, before I come back to talk to Khadijah about the childhood of Brother Hannibal and to maybe put the family things in context and to raise some more money. We're at $1,500 right now. And I'm going to get some more funds for Brother Hannibal's legal efforts. Brother Nat Turner, you've heard a lot here tonight. You've been, this is a heck of a panel here tonight, which is a testament to Brother Hannibal and also his mother that these persons that we would all gather here on his behalf tonight. Nobody twisted our arm to be here. What do you say now, Brother Nat Turner, about what has occurred so far tonight?
Yeah, I want to put it like this. Like, take a football team. You know, you have 11 individuals that go onto the field, and they do their thing, whatever. And when one of the players come off the field, you know, after having gotten out there and trying to help his team win, when he comes off the field, you see somebody standing there with a towel, and another person standing there with a Gatorade bottle, and they hand it to him. As a matter of fact, they don't even hand it to him. He just opened his mouth up, and the person just, you know, presses the bottle and, you know, give him some Gatorade after coming off the field. You know, you got people that's going out on the field, you know, mixing it up in the midst of the struggle. And you got people on the sidelines, you know, that ain't doing anything. So everybody can make a contribution. You know, you can be that person that's holding the towel. It's all right. You could be that person that's, you know, spraying some Gatorade in his mouth coming off the battlefield, out of the trenches and stuff. That's what Hannibal is. You know, Hannibal in the trenches. And it's a perfect time now for those who've been on the sidelines to make a contribution. Like, you know, the elders in the 60s. You know, a lot of the elders in the 60s, you know, they got chased out of the country. Some were assassinated. Some were locked down on trumped up charges, still held as prisoners of war today. And they made their sacrifices. And of course, you know, you had persons, you know, fighting for civil rights and, you know, desegregation. And a lot of people got, you know, water holes and abused and beat up and killed and murdered. And, you know, the general collective benefited from that today. You know, and so that's what it is. We all can play a role in this. Hannibal is a young African, a young man, and you just have to simply ask yourself, why is he in prison? You know, just ask yourself, why is he in prison? You know, that's the basic question. Why is he there? You know, his mom described, you know, gave you a play-by-play. You know, it's no coincidence, you know, that, you know, these things take place. The refusal to give up, you know, his material possessions, you know, and so it's a clear case. You know, Barbara Barron put it in perspective, you know, the whole shebang, you know, but that's how I wonder. Some Hannibal, he's out on the playing field, and he comes off the playing field, you know, you know, and somebody's all right to be there and hand him a cold glass of water or a towel or even wipe his head. You know what I'm saying? That's how I like to look at it. Black power.
Black power, black power,
Wow.
black power. Way to give us wisdom. Mother Khadijah, come on and talk to us. Tell us how we proceed from here, man.
Well, right now, first of all, before we get ahead of ahead of ourselves, I want to thank everybody for here, Brother Malik. I want to thank you for initiating this process. And I just want to thank everybody for coming on. I thank you, Brother Youssef, because, you know, my son really respects you, you know, so I just wanted to thank you for coming on. I wanted to thank everybody for coming on. What we're going to need, funds for experts, because I believe that we're at the stage of this battle now where we're going to have to prove. We're going to need money for coercion expert, handwriting expert, a reconstructive expert that can actually go to the scene based on the information that we got from private investigators when they did their investigation, when they looked and reviewed the crime scene photos in terms of the trajectory of the bullet in the decedent, as opposed to what the police are saying, which is completely different. So we want to really secure this with experts, and that's going to cost money. It's going to cost into the thousands. So this is why we wanted to, you know, we want to get the money up. We want to have it at the ready. I was told by the attorney that we will not be able to get the experts until we get we need to have the evidence. So the Kings County District Attorney's Office needs to release the evidence. They need to release the evidence. NYPD was foiled. They have not responded. So this is what we're looking for right now.
Now, though some of those issues are in court, am I correct that some of these evidentiary issues of releasing the evidence, that these are court contested matters right now? Is that correct?
Well, I know that Hannibal's attorney has filed, and I'm not too clear on, maybe you probably could shed some light on this too, Malik, since you're an attorney, an Article 78. He had to go to the federal court for the federal court to compel the Kings County District Attorney's Office to hand over the evidence. So now we're waiting to see what the federal court is going to render in terms of compelling Eric Gonzalez to give over the evidence, because this is the law. You can't hold exculpatory evidence. You have to hand it over. And why he's not handing it over is, I don't know. I just don't understand it. So there's a lot of things that they know. They know that Hannibal's innocent. They know he's innocent. Just release his clothes. Release the cell. Why won't they do that? So this is what we're waiting for. Article 78 that his attorney has submitted. From my understanding is where the Article 78 compels you have to go to the federal court is compelling Eric Gonzalez to who is the Kings County District Attorney's Office, the district attorney, to hand over the evidence, hand over my son's clothes, hand over the cell phone, all of that, hand that over, hand over the video, hand over the video that would show that my son was not where you say he was. A murder took place in one building, and my son was, and this person of interest was standing in front of another building 2 blocks, 3 blocks away from where everything happened. All this stuff. Where's the video of the building? Where's the surveillance of the building? Show where my son and this person of interest was. So, we're demanding Eric Gonzalez from the Kings County District Attorney's Office to hand over the evidence. You have the evidence. You have an innocent Black man in jail. When you're a lawyer, you take an oath. Don't you take an oath? Take an oath. Honor that oath, Eric Gonzalez, and free my son. You know that my son is innocent. Hand over the evidence. Hand it over.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I know that the matters pertaining to the Article 78 and the turning of this evidence over is still in court. Are there any political or other efforts designed to help free up this evidence? Do you have anything else going outside of the legal matters?
That's pretty much it. I mean, unless we want to write some letters to the governor. We want to write, if we have to write a letter to the governor, we want to write letters to the governor to see if she can compel. I mean, if worse comes to worse, if the governor can compel Eric Gonzalez to hand over the evidence, if she can do that.
And we'll
If
be
the
ready.
Attorney General
Do you have a petition? Do you have something else out there for Brother Hannibal now? Is there a petition?
Yes, there's a change.org petition that's out. I completely forgot about that. Forgive me.
Okay, tell us about that. And I would like Sister Amina to post it in the Facebook chat, the petition, and those that have it, the petition. Could you tell us about the petition and the purpose of the petition? And while you're doing that, I'm gonna put up $200 on contingent. I'm gonna put up $200 if somebody else or a number of other people will put up $300, so we can get to $2,000 tonight. I'll put up 200 if anybody, somebody that's appreciative of what we're doing tonight. And if they put up 300, I'll put up 200, and that'll put me over 2,000 on my books. You may have something else on your receipts. We may be higher. Can't see everything coming in. So I got 200 up right now. And while they collecting their money on my pledge, tell us about the petition for Brother Hannibal. Also, I would like you to give us how to write Brother Hannibal so they can put how to write him, send him books, and communicate with him if that's proper, to put that in the chat room, and anything else we can do for him. Talk to us, Mother.
Okay, yes. So the change.org was started by my dear sister and comrade, Amina Ochun. And we would like to get as many signatures as possible. Right now, we're to like close to 600 signatures. So I feel that we could do much better than that. And the purpose of the petition is to let people know Hannibal's plight and to compel or to ask the public to raise their voices, straight up, to raise their voices in support of Hannibal. Sign the petition. We want to be able to send a petition or hand over the petition to the governor, to the Attorney General's office. You know, this is what we want to do. And the purpose of that change.org is to get as many petitions as possible, signatures as possible, so people can raise their voices. There's a whole narrative on change.org that pretty much tells everything that happened with Hannibal, with the detective who has a history of unorthodox interrogating techniques, which he employed this on another young man where his conviction was overturned and he's now free. So that's what the purpose of the change.org is, to get as many voices raised as possible so we can present that. We want to present that to the governor and hopefully the Attorney General's office. And we have like close to
Sister Collida, for those, 1 second, Sister Collida, Sister Collida, if you're listening, could you please put that on at the top of our itinerary over on the legal end? Could you make sure that the petition goes on our website and every available venue that we have? And I want you to also make sure that at least every 3 days, no matter what we're doing, no matter what project we're on, that we come back and loop around to pushing the petition and other information to help Hannibal raise funds, the petition and his fundraising links. I want you to make sure that we come back around to it at least twice a week, no matter what's going on here. I'm talking about from the Black Lawyers for Justice perspective. Now, New Black Panther Party will have more duties. They will have more duties, and I'm hoping they stepping up in this chat room and donating. I'm hoping they respect the brothers that have that are not here with us and have laid the foundation for us. I know that this New Black Panther Party that's watching me right now, and I'm talking to, I know that they're gonna live up to that patch. They're gonna live up to that. I know that they're gonna do that. I'm confident that they're gonna do that tonight. Now, ma'am, I kind of intervened on you, so I want you to go ahead and continue on. I got $200 up. I'm looking for 300. I'm looking on my cell phone because somebody's gonna tell me that somebody put up the 300.
Well, I told you I
match my
pledged
200.
300.
Who does that?
It's me, his mother, Hannibal's mother. I pledged 300. I want to lay down $300 towards, I want to put $300 in the hat. I know I've put enough in, but I want to put some
Bless
more
you,
in.
man. Bless you. Bless you,
some more
Sister
in.
Khadijah, for putting that up. Bless you. So I got to put my 200 up now, and that's $500. $500, which makes us at $2,000 for the night. $2,000 tonight. And so based on what Mother Khadijah is saying now, that she put up 300 to match my 200, I'm going to put up another 200. I'm going to put up another 200 if somebody will match that with another 300. It could be a group, it could be a city, it could be an organization, it could be an individual who's watching. That you just put it on that Cash App, you put it on that Zelle, and you finna tell us, you about to tell us right now that you appreciate what we're doing. You appreciate all of these top fighters being on this phone fighting for Hannibal. I'm putting up 200. I'm looking for 300. Mother, go ahead. Talk to her. I'm looking for 200. I'm looking for another 300. Thank you for your 300. Continue on, Mom.
Yes, my daughter, Elaine Kennedy, has just pledged $200. She's on, and she has just pledged $200. She just sent me a text that she pledges $200.
Okay, so that commits me to another $200. And that brings us up to 2,400 total. Am I right?
Yes.
2,400 total,
2,400,
guaranteed.
yes.
From those. That's just for me, yourself, Charles Barron, and your family, and People's Political Party. New
Black Lawyers for
Party.
Justice, right?
And
Yes, sir.
that comes under my total. Okay, 2,400 total. All right, that's what we're getting down on right now. That gives me some hope.
Those are the
Give me some hope.
pledges.
And I'm sure that we got more from the more coming. Okay, and let me tell you this: my parts of it, you just have it by Zelle. If it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you'll have it all by Zelle. Just all by Zelle.
Okay.
Okay. Tell us what else. Tell us what else you want to tell us.
Like to support Hannibal, send money. He needs commissary money. Right now he's on 20-day restriction because of some trumped up bullshit. So now he has a loss of rec and a loss of commissary for, I know you're shaking your head, Brother Yusef, because you know it's all bullshit. But he's on loss of rec and commissary for 20 days. But, and that should end August 6th. August 6th will be the end of the 20 days. So just continue to send money to him. You can send it by jpay.com. If he's, I can type it in the chat room what his name, his DIN number is, and also what the email address is, jpay.com. So go there and put his name, and if you don't know how to use JPay, go there and put in his name and his DIN number. And you just search inmate, and you can send him money. You can also send him emails. He does not have a restriction on communication. So he can accept phone calls, and he can accept he can accept phone calls and emails. And he also can accept visits. So he can accept that. And he is at Sing Sing Correctional Facility in Westchester County. It's not too far from the city. For those of us who are in New York, for those of us who are in the Bronx and Manhattan, it's like 20 minutes. At the most, 45 minutes from New York City to get to go see Hannibal. And he is allowed visits. You know, just continue to pray for him, continue to support him. Write letters to Eric Gonzalez. I'm gonna see if I can get I'm gonna put his address in the chat. Write Eric Gonzalez, write Kathy Hochul, the governor, and compel him to hand over Hannibal's exculpatory evidence. You know, that's how you can support him.
Okay, that's fine. Y'all hearing that? About how you can support Brother Hannibal, who's known as the name Justin Sarkozy. It's in the chat room right now, and it's on my priority list, okay? So we want y'all to help with the petition, help with writing the people that are withholding the evidence. We want you to help with raising funds, and we want you to be conscious of our comrades who are behind bars, specifically this specific comrade, to those who you're listening. I'm about to let Brother Yusef Salam close us out. But again, I want to let you know that we do not believe at all, based on the facts, not just belief, based on the facts and our knowledge of the character of Brother Hannibal, that he is guilty of the crimes that he has been charged and convicted with. And that's why we're here. We're talking about free Hannibal Rushideen tonight on this phone line, on this TV line and phone line. Free Hannibal Rushideen. And I also want to give a shout out to Rodell Hurd, Brother Amin Ra, who's in the New York State prison system, my young brother who was just recently incarcerated. I'm working on his case. I'm working right now to get through the Freedom of Information Act and Open Records Act to and other litigation tools to help him, because he's been beaten by prison guards. He suffered a concussion. He's seeking my help. I'm going to help him, and I'm going to help Justin Bonus. I'm going to help try to find any way that I can to spring forth these clothing, these items, this information, any way that I can assist the counsel of the family here into freeing Brother Hannibal. That is what my continuing commitment will be, as well as supporting everything else that we heard.
I would appreciate that, Brother Malik, because I think that I think he needs that. You know what I'm saying?
You will have, you got that.
Yes,
You got
I appreciate that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, so what we'll do is I want to continue to have I guess the bi-weekly status calls. I would still like to have a or at least at minimum every 21 days.
Right.
That we have a status call where we talk about what we are doing and what we're going to do, and that we're keeping on pace with what we're supposed to do. I would say at least every 21 days officially, we get official with it.
Right.
And I want to give a shout out to Brother Kenneth Hogan. Kenneth Hogan is behind bars in New York State. He's seeking clemency. He's from behind bars. He's gotten his degrees. He has been a model prisoner for years. I mean, and he's gotten so many certificates and so many ways that he has advanced his life. I want to give him a shout out on this line tonight. And I just want everybody to be conscious of our brothers and sisters who are behind bars. We're free, we're breathing, we're rolling. We have what's called the normal problems of life. We're not behind bars. God bless you, Mother, and for everything. And I would hope that this night brings us all closer as a movement. I would hope that this night heals at least some of the pains and the wounds that have occurred in this Black Panther, Black Power movement over the years, because we all family.
That's right.
And all we really have is each other. And so I want to say that. I want to thank you for your patience. And that's just it here. We thank you so much.
Thank you, Brother
My
Malik,
funds are
for
good.
initiating
My
this.
My funds are good by Zelle. We'll continue to raise money and do other creative things. Brother Yusef Salam, you will close us out, my dear brother, and we'll pay attention to you and Black Power, and God bless everybody tonight on this line. And God bless Brother Hannibal. Let's meditate
Thank you,
a moment
everyone.
for him. Let's take a moment to think about him and meditate for him. Our brilliant and strong young brother who's behind bars, and we want to see him out. We want to see him out. And we think of him. Brother Yusef Salam, you got it, my dear brother.
You know, and I'm still thinking about our brother, and you know, I can only continue to think about him because, you know, as I was once inside of the womb of America, inside of the belly of the beast, and how hard it was and how much of a challenge it was to keep your mind focused on that light at the end of the tunnel and not ever giving up hope that that light would one day be right there in front of you and you can actually see it. And I think that that's something of the spirit of prayer that we want to push out there into the sphere of where our brothers are in prison, specifically with brother Hannibal, and specifically with also all of the members that you just spoke about. You know, it's a difficult thing to live life itself, but it's a oppressive thing to live life under the foot of oppression.
Yes.
That's why it says in our faith, oppression is worse than
Worse
slaughter.
than slaughter. That's
You
it.
know, it's better for
Yes.
you to die than for you to go into a state of being oppressed. You know,
Yes.
and here it is, a situation where many of us we thought that if it didn't go our way when we were in the courthouse or in the precinct, then it's going to work itself out once we get to the courtroom. And lo and behold, unbeknownst to us, the technology is already at play. And so now we have to double down on our efforts, double down on what it is that we need to do, because the worst part about something like this is that when we free him, we will have to free someone else, because
Yes.
this system was designed against us, not for us. And
That's
so
right.
in the words of our great general, we want the system itself to be abolished in the form that it is right now. The prison industrial complex to be abolished in the form that it is right now. The
Yes.
police industrial complex to be abolished in the form that it is right now. Because we need true justice. We need a system that is a system that protects and serves us. A system
Right.
that outside of cop cars that says protect and serve, but it also says courtesy, professionalism, and
And
respect.
respect.
And I
Right.
never forget when I was in California some years back, a young woman who was 13 at the time stood up in the audience and she said, you know, Brother Yusef, I have a question. What advice can you give me? I want to become a cop. I'm a cadet.
Mm. Mm.
What advice can you give me? And I was shook because the first thought I thought was I wanted to tell her to run. I wanted to tell
Mm.
her not to become a cop. But because I had what they call a pregnant pause, because I thought 5 times, maybe 7 times before I said anything, the real answer came to me. And the answer told me that I was speaking to the future. And I began to talk to her as if she was the answer, to let
Mm.
her know that if she steps into this role of being a police officer in the same way that Dr. King said, when you find your purpose in life, do it as if God Himself called you to do it at this very
Mm.
moment, that she
Right.
would be one of the best officers out there. And so we want a system that is just. We want a system that is fair. But we also know that we have to fight for everything that we get, because they want this system that they have created to stand.
Right.
And it will be a war. And it will be mostly a
Yes.
war of our minds. And we have to make sure that we are fortified enough to fight that, because it might not happen in our lifetimes. But trust me, we will get what it is that we fight for. And in this same way, we got to uplift not only Brother Hannibal in our prayers, but also his family, Mother Khadija, her sister, her children. We have to lift them all up to make sure that they feel the comfort of the community and the support that we so desperately want to offer. And if we can give anything, dig even further. I'm going to donate some funds. I didn't want to say anything, but I want to donate some money myself. I'm going to be in direct communication with Mama Khadija to give her what it is that I can from my family to her and her family to support this effort, because it is a monstrous thing. They want, let me tell you something. I want you, the viewing audience, I want you to realize this. And maybe this will be the last thing I say. They want this to be so difficult that even the one in prison gives up hope. But we have to become more fortified to know that God is the ultimate orchestrator
That's
of
right.
everything that's going on.
Yep.
And with
That's
that,
right.
we need to march forward. We need to never turn our back in battle unless we're maneuvering to join another company, as we read in our books, but at the same time, we need to know what it is that we are doing, and we need to stay focused, and we need to stay on point and continue to surround Mama Khadija, continue to surround Brother Hannibal, continue to also surround Brother Malik. He's out there on the front lines, and he's going to need our support as well to make sure that as he's watching our back, we're watching his back.
Right.
Yes,
Because he's
indeed.
under attack too. That's a whole nother story. Yes. Mhm.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So
So thank
that's
you.
all I wanted to say. Peace and
Appreciate
blessings.
you.
May Allah bless you. May Allah bless you, brother. Mom, you had something to say?
No, I was just saying, when he was saying we have to watch your back too, that's true. Because you're under attack. You've always been under
True.
attack. And Hannibal has reminded me, he's told me, and I've mentioned this to you. He said, Mommy, when everybody turned their back on Malik, he said, those of us who decided to stay with Malik, we must continue to stay with him. Have his back, because he's under attack. Hannibal reminds me of that all the time, and I see things that bear witness to that. So, I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank Brother Malik for initiating this. And Brother Youssef, I'm telling you, your spiritual wisdom gives me a lot of hope. It gives me a lot of strength. And I thank Allah for that. I thank, Alhamdulillah for that. So
Well,
thank you for your
All
support.
right.
I'm going to tell you a secret. I thank Allah for you, because Allah gives us moments to be able to recognize the beauty and the grace that He is affording us. And the fact that I can speak this way is a testament to being able to be in your presence as well. So that right there is a blessing in disguise for all of us.
Yes. Thank you,
Thank
brother.
you all so much. Tonight, sisters and brothers, you've witnessed many things tonight. And I would like you to take this tape and this broadcast, and I want you to share it everywhere. And the YouTube, make sure, Brother Mintu, that the YouTube version, that we're going to provide it to the People's Political Party and to the family, because tonight has been a great fundraiser and support effort for Brother Hannibal, but it's been a great education on the prison system of America, mass incarceration, wrongful incarceration, false and coerced confessions.
Right.
And this has been a very valuable educational meeting tonight that will serve the many purposes. And so I want you all to value and to preserve this. This has also been a testament to the strength and the care and the perseverance of a great mother in our struggle. Sister Khadija, I want you to pay careful attention to that. And it's also a great test of faith also. And Brother Youssef Salam, a great test of faith. And it's also, I want to say, I want you all to look at the character of this man and the spirituality of this man. And I want you to understand what Islam has done for him, and what a fine man that he has made through the practices of Islam, from the approach or the base of Islam in the approach to liberation and justice for our people. Take notes and take example. Black power, assalamu alaikum, and God bless everybody. Stay on the struggle. Stay strong. Free Brother Hannibal.
Free Brother
Free
Hannibal.
Hannibal Rushideen. Free Hannibal Rushideen. We straight ahead. Respect everybody here. May we struggle together as sisters and brothers.
Yes.
We leave you now. Peace be unto
Peace.
everybody.
Peace.
Mhm.